Right now, let's see. Step 3 complete. Audio recording active. Excellent. Okay, now, next following step to initiate visual recording, say activation phrase. Okay, activation phrase. Really? Oh, alright. Bit hot, but here goes. Is this thing on? Perfect. Excellent. Okay. Little nerve-wracking, but let's see how we do. Good. Whatever time of day this is to anyone watching, I hope this does find an audience. Otherwise, the half of a conversation that I'm going to be conducting with this strange recording machine that's now my only form of company is going to seem very odd indeed. This is Alzeck Joar-done recording from the now deserted hall of the Wood Country Castle, or possibly, if in all likelihood this place has been torn down by the time this video reaches an audience, then this will be the site formerly of the Wood Country Castle. But let's not dwell on such things right now. Thought I'd make the best of this little device that I found to try and record a festive message, being the time of year that I find myself in hiding here, well, you know, things are looking like they can only get better and are somewhat unlikely to. The streets are largely deserted. The few folk that I can see from here who appear outdoors tend to be well masked, if you know what I mean, and stood at regimented distances from one another. Because the Wood Country is now under martial law. I hope that was clear from what I was inferring there. Nonetheless, I've holed up here. While it's not likely to be a long-term plan, this does seem to be the least likely place anyone would look for anyone connected to the royal family or the ninjas, given recent events. Upbeat, yes, upbeat. Now, let's see if we can get a hello. Are you back again? Oh, thank goodness. I thought I'd broken it. Right, let's set this down somewhere a little bit less precarious. There we are. Good. Now this is now, in spite of my festive dress, this is not merely a video in celebration of the holiday season, and it's not just a means of keeping myself sane. Not entirely anyway, but that's by the by. The reason I wanted to make this little record is because of this. While leafing through the royal volumes, I discovered this virtually unmarked book, but the wealth of information inside it is so detailed that it can only have been written by somebody with either an intense knowledge of the ninja past or a massive load of time on their hands. So let's kill a bit of time and possibly educate ourselves on the history of the ninja world. Let's see. So our really is easier to read like this, it appears. Our story begins with the world as we know being home to a select group of powerful and strange individuals known only as ninja. While many believe the way of the ninja to be stealthy, hidden in mystery, and cloaked in shadow, this is most definitely not always the case. It appears this person has done their research. On a small island continent in the North Ocean lay a certain land hidden from the rest of the world. This is the land of the ninja. 3 powerful nations rose up amongst the many people who lived there, away from the rest of the known world. The Steel Country, the Wood Country, and the Paper Country. Appears to go through them one by one. The Steel Country was known for its many powerful clans of ninja, each with their own special techniques that were handed down from generation to generation. Many mercenaries lived there, working for money, fame, and power. The ruling power here was the military might of the 7 Knights, unparalleled fighters with mastery over the ways of swordsmanship and hand-to-hand combat. The 4 greatest clans were the Graver clan, mysterious warriors well versed in ways of agility and the mind. Yes, I know their youngest descendant personally, and rest in peace to the rest of the clan. The Masked Brotherhood, a dangerous group with ties to many underground mobs of thieves and criminals. Yes, a very shadowy group indeed. I myself was only first able to attest to the existence of this group very recently, and a band of allies. The Zayas clan. The best swordsmen in the land were born from this clan, and the bloodline was also host to many powerful and rare techniques. Zayas as in Khazad-dûm. I shocked to learn he even had a clan. I assumed that he was born fully formed out of the storm itself, so great is his power. The Kuma tribe, a powerful family with connections to nature and animals. The many witch doctors in this tribe were said to be the creators of many transformation techniques. Yes, one of our greatest ninja of all came from this very tribe. The Wood Country was a political giant, full of wise and wealthy inhabitants. Eventually, the lords and nobles of the land elected a king and queen who would rule the masses and help guide the country toward even greater success. But not all the lords agreed with the decision, and to this day there remains political unrest between the many families. The 7 families that held the most influence were... 7 seems to be a common theme in our history. Nonetheless, these 7 families were the Ryoku family, the chosen family which would hold the throne of the Wood Country, would later come to be known as the royal family of the 3 ninja nations. I was always led to believe that they only ruled over the Wood Country. Perhaps some older documents give them greater influence and power. The Aiken family, a high-class noble family famous for their beautiful women. The Mormidbland family, a family that has long since lost all recognition, but some of its members still exist today. That doesn't ring a bell, can't imagine who that could be referring to. The Joar-done family, an upper-class family with strong and loyal people. They served the royal family. Yes, traditionally we certainly have. Still, all good things. Here are some interesting names. The Gauntlet family, one of the 3 families to form the Ninja World Government and wrest control from the royal family. Yes, if only the writer of this book knew exactly how true that statement would one day become. Nonetheless, so the next 2 families are under the one same umbrella as the Gauntlet family, the Halberd and the King family. After the Great Ninja War between the Steel and Wood countries, the royal family was ousted from power, and the Ninja World Government came to power over all 3 of the ninja nations. The Wood country was victorious due to the huge army they had amassed over years. Even the Steel country's powerful clans couldn't combat such overwhelming power. As a result, the 4 great clans of the Steel country were split apart, some leaving to live in financially stable Wood country, while others disappeared into the wreck that had been the woodlands of the Steel country before the Great War. Now it's here that I'm starting to doubt the authenticity of this document, to be honest, because previously it's been talking about ancient events that predate even our own written history, and now it seems to be rolling in such events with things that happened mere months, if at most years ago, within very recent memory. It all seems to be conflating rather confusingly, but nonetheless. Eventually, with this mixing of various bloodlines, many forms of ninjutsu came to be, special battle techniques that could be used by ninja in combat, each calling on a specific element to be of use. In order to tap into these techniques, use of bodily chakra was needed. Chakra came in a variety of different forms. Later, they would be classified into various elements. These are listed below. Earth, powerful physical abilities which were capable of great destruction. Fire, fast and furious techniques capable of inflicting great damage at a great speed. Water, swift and graceful movements, used mainly for defense but also very adaptable. Wind, the rarest kind of chakra, capable of many cutting techniques and even the manipulation of the air itself. I take issue with its designation as the rarest, but nonetheless. Metal, the greatest chakra for defense and creation, common among sword users but difficult to master. Wood, one of the weaker elements, but this is made up for by its evolution factor. Over time, a person with wood chakra can master it beyond all other elements. May explain a few things in the former headmaster of the ninja school. Light creates techniques far more powerful than your average ninjutsu. However, it can be very taxing on the body and can only be invoked for short periods. Thunder. Very well. Thunder, another rare element. This one is fast and powerful, tapping into the power of the heavens themselves. Unlike light, it's easy to manipulate and control. I don't claim to be an expert in all forms of chakra, but I have never heard of this before. Now this is confusing. Lunar, a mysterious kind of chakra made up of dark and light chakra elements. The truth of that I can't speak to, but it's confusing that wind is declared in this list as the rarest kind of chakra, and yet they also list lunar, which is objectively the rarest type of widely known chakra. And then this next bit is just garbled nonsense, frankly. Solar, a healing chakra capable of many strong regeneration techniques. Well, that would be a subsidiary of light chakra, much like thunder, if anything. Very confusing. Noise, unblockable moves. The downside is they are slow and hard to execute. Well, yes, noise techniques do exist, but even Mime will tell you that noise chakra is a sub-form of wind chakra. Nonetheless. And dark, a dangerous element that damages the user but boosts their strength to an exponential level. Quite true, no issues to be taken there. This document is curiously structured, as we're only now mentioning the last of the three nations. Nonetheless, lastly, the Paper Country, the far northern area of the three ninja nations, a peaceful place that remained untouched during the war between the steel and wood countries. A nameless feudal lord moved in here, many years ago and built a large mansion. However, he soon abandoned it, and today it serves as a school for teaching ninja from all over the country, even outside the three ninja nations. The inhabitants of this land were few in number, and only one clan existed, the Zeifler clan, a group of ninja famous for their unique bloodline. While one half of the gene pool was greatly gifted, the other was left with very little. The clan was small and soon seeking different courses of life. Many had abandoned the ninja way and left the nations. Wonder how much of this Dine is aware of, or even Gun, when he was alive. The story of how Dine came to be. I'm getting the sense that the writer of this volume had some interest in pushing a narrative, but we'll indulge them for the time being. So the story of Dine. With the world starting to reach balance once more after the Great War, many families and factions came to try and take advantage of the weaker groups. Battles broke out all over the land, thus beginning what would later be known as the Broken Conflict. Clans fought each other, and political groups overthrew one another. It wasn't country against country, but man against man. The fighting raged on, and soon many homes and settlements were destroyed. Criminals became more common, and well, it says Rouge Ninja, but I'm going to assume it means Rogue Ninja. Rogue Ninja began to appear, fighting for themselves in these dark times. This conflict raged on for years until finally one day 4 individuals appeared. They alone would end this dark time, and with them they brought a new era, an era of growth, that would come to be known as the legendary sense. Sorry, they would come to be known. There are spelling mistakes in this document. I don't think it was vetted very well, to be honest. They would come to be known as the legendary sensei, led by the Grand Master of ninjutsu, one who had obtained all 12 elements of chakra. Not certain there are 12 distinct elements, but again, moving on. But let's stop there for now. Sorry, this is the text talking. This is not me this time. But let's stop there for now and wind the clock back a few years to before the broken conflict began. At the very north of the paper country lay a small mountain, and on that mountain lived a forgotten family known as the McGruffs. Unlike most clans and families, the McGruff bloodline was one of peace and tranquility. Not once had they been involved in any of the wars or conflicts throughout all of written history. In a sense, they were a pure group, dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. However, in later years, as they watched the other countries around them grow in strength due to the creation of the various ninjutsu, they decided that it would be foolish to not prepare some defense countermeasures of their own. It wasn't long before the McGruffs had managed to create their own techniques and battle strategies, and powerful they were, due to the family's strong, rambunctious child, wild at heart and quite loud. Very, very loud, in fact. His constant shouts of freedom could be heard throughout the village each morning when he awoke. This young boy was Angus McGruff, who would later become the founding member of the legendary sensei. At the age of 15, he set out into the world alone, his heart craving adventure. After several years of travel and many, many run-ins with various, there's that word Rouge Ninja, again I'm going to be charitable and assume it means Rogue Ninja, unless Rouge is a chakra type that I'm unfamiliar with. Anyway, many run-ins with various rogue ninja and other villainous foes, he returned to his village only to find that the entire family had departed from the mountain, and in their place was left a large wood country outpost. McGruff soon discovered that the World Ninja Government apparently had destroyed his home and killed every last one of his people, and thus came an important turning point in the history of the 3 ninja nations. Angus McGruff tore down the outpost single-handedly and defeated all the occupying ninja. Never before had the world seen such power in a single being. Angus was hunted day and night by the government, who were desperate for his arrest. If he wasn't caught, it was likely that news of his accomplishments would spread, causing more to follow in his footsteps. See, again, this implication that the world government is an organization that's been around for years, if not decades, it seems very unlikely given how we got to our current state in the wood country. But again, we press on. McGruff even managed to outwit the 7 knights for several years, whom had been sent after him by the government. At the time, they were believed to be the most powerful individuals in existence. Their failure to capture McGruff only angered the government more. Eventually, after almost 5 years of running, McGruff came up with an idea. He infiltrated the wood country's central government building and met with the world leaders personally. He agreed to spare their lives in exchange for them stopping their pursuit of him. Now a free man once again, McGruff went out into the world looking for any survivors of his family. His search yielded no results, but he did meet a young lady along the way. She was a tavern owner in the wild parts of the Steel Country. Her name was Helena Joar-done, one of the daughters of the Joar-done family, from the wood country, who had abandoned her upper-class life due to her hatred for the ruling powers. This is totally unknown to me. Goodness. Anyway, what a pleasant surprise. They married and had a daughter named Marnia, who later married a ninja from the remains of the Graver clan called Seth Moreau. They in turn had a beautiful young daughter named Candle, future Grandmaster of Ninjutsu. Is this document to imply that I have an ancestor who is the mother of the Grand Sensei? Well, as much as I'd like to drop down a line wherever he may be at this current point and congratulate him on us being related, this document has thrown enough questionable information at me so far that I'm not convinced I should take its word alone on this matter. Nonetheless, it is an interesting implication. Grandmaster of Ninjutsu, yes. This young girl had inherited the blood of 3 powerful ninja clans. Not only that, but she was also born with a ridiculous amount of chakra within her. Candle was a unique child, with the potential to become the greatest ninja who ever lived. Under tutoring from her mother, father, and grandfather, she learned to wield all 12 kinds of chakra and learned many different and powerful techniques along the way. The whole family lived together in the Steel Country for many years, turning the once small tavern owned by Belena into a thriving wilderness resort and training dojo for traveling ninja. However, on her 18th birthday, something terrible happened. A strange man who had come from a distant land arrived at the resort. His name was Whale Denden. I never had the chance to ask Seal whether the apparently aquatic theme to both he and his brother's first names was total coincidence, and this document at least seems to suggest that it is not. Fascinating. Unbeknownst to Candle and the rest of her family, he had decided to use the resort as a hiding place while he conducted an ancient and forbidden ritual to revive a dark deity from thousands of years past. He was unsuccessful in doing so, but in his failed attempt at summoning the beast, the resort was destroyed, taking with it every single one of Candle's family except for her grandfather, who managed to protect her and escape to safety. Wounded and exhausted, they collapsed, traveling through the Paper Country's lowlands. Luckily for them, a young man from the Zeifler clan rescued them, bringing them to his home and nursing them back to health. The man's name was Egap, the only remaining member of the Zeifler clan in the 3 ninja nations, due to how the rest had left the country over the years of the broken conflict. McGruff took to him right away, expressing his gratitude by offering his granddaughter to him as thanks. I confess I had no idea our dear departed sensei was of such a disposition to offer his granddaughter as chattel, but again, questionable accuracy. We carry on. Candle, however, was rather angered by this gesture, and quite right too. That was my editorializing there, sorry. And she grew to dislike Egap. He in turn ended up having issues, this part is in quotation marks, with her. This soon developed into a rivalry, and the 3 ended up living together. Egap determined to defeat Candle in combat, which he found quite impossible due to her unbelievable talent in using ninjutsu of all elements. I think I speak for all of us when I say I hope that the beginning of Dine's close family was a happier one than this. McGruff departed not long after, telling his granddaughter that she didn't need him to watch after her anymore. 2 years passed. Egap and Candle had lived and sparred together for so long that what happened next was inevitable. The 2 were married. Okay. Their rivalry blossomed into the most embarrassing kind of lovey-dovey relationships. Meanwhile, on his travels, McGruff met with a member of the Kuma clan, Richard Kuma, a mighty warrior who had transformed himself into a bear. Kuma had been searching for Angus McGruff in the hopes that he would take him under his wing and train him. The 2 shared several adventures together and soon became best friends. They, along with Candle and Egap, would form the group known as the Legendary Sensei, who would bring about the end to the broken conflict. On occasion, McGruff and Kuma would visit Candle and Egap, but one day they visited to find that Candle had given birth to twin boys. One promised to be an excellent ninja like his parents, with an extremely powerful level of chakra. This was Brian Zeifler, a name I shall not soon forget, because it's utterly ridiculous. Carrying on, who later changed his name to Gun, yes. The other child seemed to be rather pathetic in comparison. A low level of chakra, physically weak, mentally challenged, and his own ability was to be able to summon a wooden pole. His only ability, begging your pardon, was to be able to summon a wooden pole. This was Dine Zeifler, who would one day be hailed as a sage. What on earth is a sage? We don't have sages in the ninja world, to my knowledge. The highest level attainable by ninja, but more about that later. For now, that is the story of Dine Zeifler and his birth. I think if I ever am lucky enough to meet Dine again, I shall be keeping this firmly to myself. This next bit is incomplete. The before years. Many years before Dine was born, the ninja world faced a huge number of problems. After the ninja world government rose to power over the royal family of the Wood Country, many rogue ninja began to rise up from the masses, seeking escape from the new laws and restrictions put on them. Battles became everyday life, and it wasn't safe to travel around unless you were capable of defending yourself. There's a spirit of truth to that, even if the timing and the actual order, if not events themselves, is highly debatable. This was the time called the Broken Conflict. I thought we already dealt with the Broken Conflict, but the structure of this document is a little skew-whiff in places. The rogue ninja problem was so bad that the current 7 Knights of the Wood Country were dispatched as a peacekeeping force. And that is where it ends. The second half of the book is entirely blank. It appears whomsoever wanted this documented never was able to finish it. Yes, that really was the first half of the book. Yes, I agree that it was very short and quite light on detail. I'll infer what questions our audience may be putting to me in these silent blanks. No, I'll admit to a little editorializing here. There was more in the text than I brought across, but I didn't feel it necessary to mention every single time the text stopped speaking to simply go oh ho 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 ho. Don't know why I did that. There were also several pages where there were no words at all, and what appeared to be nothing more than large, extremely questionable illustrations of dinosaurs. Who could have been writing, authoring, or even perhaps simply dictating the content of this book, we can only imagine. Yes, dinosaurs, really? Come on, I'll give you a look. Ooh. Sorry about that little jumpy. I think there might be a world government patrol in the nearby area that's hopefully going to pass me by, and I might go unnoticed. I need to go and turn the lights out. I'll bid you good day and stay safe and happy holidays.